I think I've had it on before. I think the lights is hitting in this bitch,
That,
though. This shit dancing.
that shit dancing.
It's dancing on the pot.
It's dancing.
I don't think about that before. That's how I'm gonna kill the club tonight. I was like, let me go ahead and throw this motherfucker off.
Yeah, I seen it. I said, he ain't never had that. nigga do a couple shows on the road with Tony. Nigga getting Cubans.
That's
shit crazy.
hilarious.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. New Year's in 2 days. Christmas was last week. Hope everybody enjoyed their time with their family. Ate some good food. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is my first Christmas, bro, that I spent alone. Don't recommend at all.
Man, that shit sound trash.
I ain't get to eat no good food. I wasn't around no ho, no nothing. No, I ain't get to watch football with my people. And then the Steelers got cooked by the Chiefs on Netflix.
Damn. That's the Netflix and chill app too. So you watching that shit in the worst possible app. Like you supposed to go to that app for soothing.
Yeah, and I got soothed all right, but yeah, so that
hey yo.
I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday. I didn't. It's cool, you know. I'm here for a reason. So it's a sacrifice. But how was yours?
Solid, man. Got the kids, got to open the gifts and shit. It feel like a blur. But yeah, it was just cool for them to be home. Me to be home. And then letting them get their little gifts off and shit. And I'm a Grinch kind of, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate holidays, but
yeah,
these little niggas happy, so I'm like, all right.
That's the best part of it. My daughter, see, it kind of got ruined because she wanted money. Works out for me because I'm not one of them get the gifts, wrap them, can't wait to see you over them. I don't care about that. I be giving my nephews gifts just bow right out the Walmart bag or whatever. So the fact that she just want money make it easy. So now what it is I got her a bank account through my credit union. I sent her a debit card. I gave it to her grandmother, like, you hold that down. This is like, basically, I'll put money on there so you could get whatever she needs. Like a child support type thing because my daughter's living there. And my daughter got a Cash App card. So when she just needs dumb shit, spend the money, I'll just put it on there.
Shout out the Cash App card. It's actually solid. I just got it mailed to me. My dumb ass didn't think I'd ever use it. That's like my primary card right now.
For real?
Yeah, I use the shit of Cash App card.
She uses it, so it's like, it's cool, so it works out. So I was sending her bread, but I wanted to send it to the debit card because I could just transfer it right from my account right into hers. No fees, no none of that, you know what I'm saying? And she could take cash. You know, the Cash App, you can't go to a bank and get no bread out like that. So I'm like, yo, but make sure you get the card off your grandmother before I send the cheese. Because she might feel like, oh, you ate some of my stuff, like, take a little cut of it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just don't trust her grandmother with the money. I'd rather my daughter get it and, you know, whatever, go from there. So I'm like, I'll give you the money, you know what I mean, once you get the card. She's like, cool. And I didn't want to put on Cash App because Cash App sometimes it be hacking at, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about the card, how that works or not, but I just was like, I'm giving her too much money. And the amount of money she asked for, I knew I was giving her more, but I hit her a couple of days before Christmas, like, look, man, I tried, but I'm not going to be able to do that number you wanted. She was like, oh, it's cool, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you could do, I appreciate it. I was like, oh, that made me feel so much better because she'd have been like, oh my God, da, da, da. I'd have been like, yeah, definitely not getting the original number and you ain't getting the extra I was giving you. But she was like, nah, that's cool, whatever. I was like, bet. So I want to send her that bread. Her grandma like, I can't find the card. Nah, go find the card. So I'm looking at to see the last time they used it, like 2 months ago, which I know because when I pull up my bank account, it shows. I know they ain't used it in a while, but I'm like 2 months ago. I'm like, whatever. So I canceled the card. I'm like, I'm going to order you another card. I'll send it to Cash App. I send it to Cash App. Yo, the recipient can't receive this amount. It's more than, I guess, like she got to verify her identity. I got to verify mine. It's too much. So I'm like, I'll just send Apple Pay. Apple Pay, they making her verify her identity. And I don't know if she lied to get her Apple ID, like her age, but it kept saying can't verify. So I'm like, yo, send the money back. Money just in limbo. Send me the bread back. So I still got it. So basically, she didn't get her present. Now I got to get her a debit card mailed, overnighted, a new one, so I can put the money on there.
Wait, did you say you sent her like an okie doke text to test her reaction?
It wasn't really a test. It was just, I wanted to surprise, like that was going to be my surprise, was telling her I couldn't give her the amount she wanted, but then give her more. So on Christmas, she's like, oh, and it worked because even though she didn't actually get the money yet, she seen how much it was on the Apple Pay. And she was like, hold on, but I thought you said you couldn't do this much. And I was like, yeah, I said I wasn't sending you that much. I sent you more. She was like, period, thanks, da-da-da. Oh, by the way, this is the shirt she bought for me. It said, I asked for a partner in crime and God, let's say, I asked God for a partner in crime. He sent me my smart ass daughter. This is my gift, but somehow it's giving her giving her praise and worship.
How old is she?
She's 15. She'll be 16 in April.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's hilarious.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck? But yeah, but that's what makes Christmas worth it to me is like seeing that her be happy because even though she ain't get the money yet, she's hyped because she knows what it is.
Now my kids got bikes. We could get all the presents done. And we walked out to the garage, and I act like I was Steve Jobs. I was like, one more thing, and they're like, what? And I raised the garage up. They was like, no bikes, and I was like, okay. That's cool. I never got bikes growing up, so I like to see their reaction.
I had to steal bikes growing up.
Exactly. My first bike, my girl just asked me, when did you get your first bike? I said, when I got my first bike, I was fast enough to ride away with that shit. That's when I got my first bike. Sorry, whoever that was in 2000. My bad, but like.
So, that's crazy you said that, right? Because I had parents like that thought logically. They don't think like kids. You know what I'm saying? Like when my daughter says she wants something, I think, what is other kids her age? Is this what they want? I don't be like, nah, I think you need this. Give her some bullshit, right? My parents would do that. So I did get a bike one Christmas, and it was a mountain bike. I didn't want that. I wanted a dyno or a mongoose or something. Yeah, so I could do stunts. You know what I'm saying? Do wheelies again. Do that on a mountain climber. Like, what are you doing? But she's thinking like you're too big. Speed. Bro, sort of got like a 24 speed. It was
gears.
Bro, it was a Magna. It was like red and black with like some green brake cable, like bright green brake.
Surprised it wasn't a Schwinn.
Bro. that would have been tight. But so I'm like, yo, when I asked her, she's like, you're too big for one of them bikes. No, I'm not. Those bikes are for stunt. Like, what are you talking about? But that's her mind. Like, you're gonna grow out of it. I'm like, nah. So she bought me the joint. Her and my dad buy it. Now it's Christmas. We live in Pittsburgh. It's snowing, so I can't even bust that thing out right away because there's snow on the ground. My dad puts it together, all that. I never really get to ride it. The first sight of sunlight, was warm. Me and my boy go out to race. We ride around the block, and I live on a busy street. You know what I'm saying? Like a street busy like La Cienega.
Yeah.
It's like that. You know what I mean? So the front of your house, you playing on a sidewalk, that's it. No bike ride or nothing like that. So we ride around the block. We go down the side street, come through the alleyway. I'm racing my boy. I'm killing it, right? When I get to the end of the alley, I try to do a little hook slide. You know what I mean? I slam on the brakes. Flips me over the handlebars. I land on my face, bust my chin open. And out of shock, I stand up and step out into the street. Bang! Hit by a car. Not like I ain't get rolled up under it. He hit his brakes just enough for me to like get knocked down by the car. I stand up again. Blood just gushing out of my chin. I had to get 17 stitches. My dad put the brakes on the opposite. Like, usually the back brakes is over here, the front brakes. Nah, but he switched them on accident. I mean, it wasn't intentional. We just ain't used to putting bikes together. So I got twisted.
How old are you?
I was probably like 9 or 10.
You ate the dirt and then got hit by a car.
Yeah, so when I hit the brakes hard to like hook slide, like I was trying to like really like hook slide to the street.
Oh, you tried to break the back wheels?
Yeah, try to break the back wheels to do the hook slide. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all call it in St. Louis. We call it a hook slide when you hit the brakes and like the back tire slide out or whatever, like in the gravel.
I know what you're doing. I don't know what it's called, but I guess you can call it a hook. I gather.
We called it a hook slide. So I was trying to do that, and I slammed on a brake, but I grabbed the front brake. Because my dad had them crisscross. They ain't supposed to be like that.
Sent your ass on Saquon Barkley style over there in the hurdle.
And I just, I flipped over the bike, and I got tried to brace myself, fell face first, bow, into the street. And then out of panic, I stand up and like just step forward, and car, boom, knocks me down. I get right back up though, like, and then the car didn't do nothing to me. I mean, it probably hurt eventually, like later, like I was probably bruised or something, but in a moment, it was my face.
You're a miracle child.
Got up, I'm running, and all my neighbors was like, oh. I run the house. My mom was like, what you running in the house for? Blood just drips. Oh my gosh. He's freaking out. Throws me in the car, takes me to the hospital. The bike got messed up though from like the wreck. Like I broke the handlebars or something. So then my dad was like, well, we don't got another, money for a new bike. I'll steal a bike. So I started getting so good at stealing. I ain't even a proud of it, but you know what I mean? But we was stealing bikes out of cribs, off porches and stuff. Yo, bro, let me ride that bike hard. I'm out. Gone.
Yeah, stealing bikes is like a christening. Like you get in the hood, steal bikes.
Yeah, like I said,
neighborhood bikes. Everybody shared bikes in the hood.
The first bike I probably ever stole was me and this dude named Mike Webb.
Damn.
And we was coming back. We had bikes. They was decent. We had decent bikes. And we was just riding home one day, and he was like, yo, I know this house, the back gate be open. They got some hard bikes, but a lot of times they're not outside. I'm like, oh, well, let's check it out. I'm thinking like, oh, my bike is, I ain't seen a bike better than mine, which is currently stolen. As soon as we open these joints, I see these two dyno bikes.
Dynos was tough.
And they was the same exact bike, but just different colorways. Pegs, mags on everything. Like had the rotor and stuff, yeah. the double seat with had all that, right? So we opened it. I forget what bike I had at the time, but I seen that and was like, oh, it was matching. This different color, same bike. We took them. Left 4 bikes. Dip, get to the hood. I had that for a minute. Then my cousin, he wanted the dude Mike's bike. And he was like, yo, cuz, do me a favor. Ride his bike to the bike shop. Run in like you getting something. I'm going to take it. Then you just come out and act like you don't know what happened to it. I'm like, all right. Like, he stole it. So what? This is my cousin. So I'm like, yo, bro, let me use your bike. I got to run up to Cranix real quick. Cranix was like the local bike shop. He like, bet. So we drive up there, like ride up there or whatever. Me, like 2 other dudes. I set the bike down outside, going, hey, Cran, you got inner tubes? Whatever size. He's in the back looking. Oh, no, I gave him some weird size or something. No, we don't got none. When they come in, I'll let you know. All right, cool. Come back out. Oh, where the bike at? Fronting like, now the dudes I'm with don't have no clue that this is a. So they playing. They like, nah, bro, we came out. The bike was gone or whatever. So he like, damn, bro. I'm like, man, my bad. I'm going to help you look for it. I helped him look for it for like 2 days. Then I was like, bro, I'm not helping you look for it no more. I'm tired, bro. Like, he's like, all right. Then he sees my cousin Daniel with the bike. And he's like, oh, he gave it to him or something. So then he get his older cousin. Dude's a grown man, like 19 or 20. I was like 14, 13, something like that. Comes to strong arm me off the bike. I'm like, bet. I'm going to go tell my sister's boyfriend. I go get my sister's boyfriend. He tell dude, go get the bike before I smoke you. Nigga pull right back up with the bike. Like, here, bro, I ain't know that was your people's. I was like, yeah. After that, I was getting mad love. They was like, oh, that's your brother? Yeah, it's my brother. He ended up getting killed a couple years later. That was my backup, dog. And he wasn't even the target. But yeah, that was my bike thieving story. I just was getting better and better. People was like, bro, you can get me a bike? Yeah, what you want?
Bike Mike.
Yeah, Michael motorcycle.
You rode motorcycles too?
Yeah. Bro, I got 101 motorcycle stories. I used to get fucked up.
You stole those too?
No, hell no. Someone stole one of mine though.
That seems fair.
I had an 05 Yamaha R1, and this was my up until like 3 bikes later, that had been my favorite bike ever. Like, I love this bike, and I used to park it outside of my house. One day it came on missing, and I'm like, I'm posting pictures. Yo, anybody see my bike? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody saying nothing. So finally, the dude, my man knew who stole it. Some dude I went to high school with. Like, we was from 2 different hoods, but he was, like, that was my man's. He knew who stole it. He didn't tell me. And at first I'm like, yo, why would you do that? But he was like, bro, I knew what you was going to do to dude about that bike, and I knew it wasn't worth it. I told you, like, I know you wasn't going to just go talk to him about it. And I was like, he's right. He's like, so I just didn't say nothing. Dude ended up getting arrested because he stole a bunch of other bikes and got caught. So they never found my bike, but he told me, like, that's who got it. He would get a U-Haul and drive around the city at night, him and like 2 other dudes, and just pick up sports bikes and just throw them in the back of the U-Haul.
What year is this that you ride motorcycles?
So I started in 08.
All right. When was you not in America?
Like in Iraq?
I guess that's when you were.
Yeah, Iraq twice. 03 to 04, March to March, and then December of 05 to December of 06.
Okay, so you did a year at a time, both times.
Yeah, a year each time.
This is all after September 11th.
Yeah.
He was out. They was like, I want to fight for the country. Like, surprise, you going to Iraq.
No, listen, dog. So my cousin's a Marine. He's 2 years older than me. So he graduated 2000. I graduated 2002. When he graduated in 2000, 9/11 didn't even happen yet. So he just wanted to always be a Marine. His dad was a Marine. Like some kids be like, my family, that was his dream. Like, I want to be a Marine. I used to be like, man, you stupid, dog. Like, so he joins, he's loving it. 9/11 happens. Like a year, you know what I mean? Like a little over a year after he graduates. So he gets sent to Afghanistan. He does a tour there, comes back. He was in a fucked up spot. When all this was going on, it was just Afghanistan. So I was like, man, and I told a story. I didn't want to join the military. I was fake joining to get out of a drug case I caught.
Okay, right.
So I did everything but sign the paperwork to make it look like to the judge that that's what I wanted to do. And then the recruiter saw me walking past the recruiting station. I told that story like just the universe lined up, grabbed me up, put me in this car and took me down to this and made me sign my paperwork like to join. That's kind of how that happened. Then once I got in it, I was like, oh, let me be the best I can be at this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do nothing and be half-assing it. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. When I joined, it was just Afghanistan going on. And there wasn't really a lot of troops over there like that. So I'm thinking like, we're going to be cool. I remember being in basic training, about to graduate, and like maybe a month and a half away or a month away. And Bush being on TV, like, yeah, we think Saddam got weapons of mass destruction. We're going to go over there. We're like, oh, chill, bro. We got smoke with Afghanistan. Don't go starting shit with them. And I was like, I hope we don't go to war over there because then I'm definitely getting deployed. Bro, like 2 weeks later, they're like, yeah, it's confirmed there's weapons of mass destruction. We're invading Iraq. I was like, bruh. I got to my duty station like December 30th or something, December 29th, something like that, right before New Year's of 02. I was in Kuwait April 1st, March, the last day of March. 3 months later.
Yes.
So those were the 2 years I was over there.
And so you did one tour, and then the second one you did, that was voluntary to go back again?
No, we had to go.
You just still in the military all the
Yeah,
time?
I was just still in.
So you did more than 4 years?
I did 5.
Got it.
02 to 07.
And when you came back the second time, you was like, I'm getting the fuck out of the military.
No, so in Iraq, anytime you re-enlist while you're in Iraq, the money is tax-free because you're technically re-enlisting in a country that you don't pay taxes in. So like if you signed a re-enlistment bond, let's say they give us like, do this job for 4 years, we'll give you $20,000. You're like, bet. You get the whole 20 racks, no taxes because you're in a tax-free duty zone.
Right.
So a lot of people, what they would do, they was incentivize, like in the military, I don't know if it's like this now, but in the military, you're allowed to re-enlist when you have 1 year out from your contract. So let's say you join today, December 26th, 2024, you sign up for 3 years. So December 26th or December 27th of 26 will mean you have 2 years that you've done. You got a year left on your contract. You can re-enlist. So say you re-enlist for 3 more years. Really, you only re-enlisted for 2 more years because you still owe them a year. So, but basically it gives you more money, because you're actually saying you're doing more time. Instead of being like, oh, I'm re-enlisting for 2 years, they'll be like, that ain't shit. We'll give you, $5,000. You know what I mean? But it makes it 3. So what they started doing in the overseas was to incentivize people. They was letting people re-enlist 2 years sooner. So if you had 3 years, left on your contract and you go to Iraq, before you even leave Iraq, you can re-enlist and get that tax-free money. So that's how they was getting people to re-enlist when they ultimately probably wouldn't have. Tax-free money, letting them get out of an extra year. So they was doing that. I was like, I thought about it and I was like, nah, I'm getting out. And then I tried to actually change my job to do something that would give me a job as a civilian, and they wouldn't give it to me. Your first re-enlistment, they supposed to treat you like a king. They was like, bro, do whatever you want. We're not giving you that job. I was like, say less. Give me my paperwork. I'm out. That's why I left, because they was playing me. And our unit was about to go back to Iraq again for a 3rd time. I was like, nah.
So you was a free agent. They ain't treat you like a free agent.
Nah. I did field artillery, which is like shooting a tank. I wanted to do human resources because every company got HR. So I was trying to switch to HR. You know what I mean?
You had a tank and you was trying to go to the office?
Yeah. I was trying to get out of that shit.
I feel that.
And it was like, yo, I had to take a typing test. Type so many words in a minute. I forget. I think it's like 24 words or something. It might be 20. Something. It's not hard. I did it, boom, boom, smoked it, did good on that, everything. They're like, yeah, job just not available.
Yeah, them fingers we need to pull triggers. Nigga.
I was like,
type of happening.
I was like, well, I'm out then.
Damn.
I'm out.
So then you get plopped back into what city when you come back from the military?
Like when I get out?
Yeah, when you got out, you landed where?
Like I went back to Pittsburgh.
Hometown?
Yeah.
You come back a veteran, and are you normal?
No.
So you back in civilian life, and you like, what the fuck is this?
I want to go back to war.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but first, time out. Before we go any further, let's just address this nigga John got the icy necklace on, and nigga shining. You ain't had that before.
You know what it is? It's the white shirt.
You never had that necklace on?
I wore it before. I just never wore the white shirt on.
Did you have it out?
I think I've had it on before. I think the lights is hitting in this bitch, though. This shit dancing. It's dancing. It's dancing on the pot.
It's dancing.
I don't think about that before I left. How am I gonna kill the club tonight? I was like, let me go ahead and throw this motherfucker off.
Yeah, I seen it. I said, he ain't never had that. nigga do a couple shows on the road with Tony. Nigga getting Cubans.
That's
shit crazy.
Hilarious. Hey, man, this is a gift.
No, but yeah, no, I didn't come back. I wasn't straight when I came back at all.
Interesting.
It took me so long to get like, because you're used to the rules not applying to you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like somebody cut you off in traffic over there, you jump out, guns, get out. What you doing, bro? Like, why'd you do that? And they're scared. Like, oh, I don't know. You know, they don't speak English. They're just scared. You do it here, somebody cut you off, you better jump out with a joint, like get out the car right now. Fuck is wrong with you? And they're like, yo, bro, what is wrong with you? I'm calling the cops. Like, I don't want to fuck call whoever you want.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's tough, talk.
How long do you think it took you?
I'm still not all the way like
back.
Yeah, but
interesting.
I'm probably I'll say probably the first. I got home in 07, July.
Okay.
I'll say the first year that I probably kind of started to feel like not reacting the way I typically would reacting was probably like 2016.
Wow.
Maybe 2015. And I'm referencing it because that's when I bought my house. Bought my house in 2015. So it was either that first year when we got the house or the second year, like when I started really having shit to lose. That's when it kind of was like, oh.
Do it.
I had a kid and was still like, I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
But then when you start having shit to lose, you be like, nah.
It seems crazy to me, the idea of military life in general. You watch movies and you don't really think anything of it because you're like, they're supposed to portray a certain life. I watched a movie recently, though, that made me think, like, what the fuck? Was it Full Metal Jacket? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, with Private...
like from the 70s or 80s, something like that?
Yeah, it's from the 80s.
Boys. Yeah.
Gomer Pyle?
Yeah, where they like, the first day the guy walks in yelling all crazy, talking to the boys and shit.
Yeah, fucking with the fat dude, he kills
that movie made me think to myself, like, man, okay, this is how I am about writing, right? I'm always like, yo, I watch shows and I write jokes and things like that. And I say to myself, any nigga to make a crazy joke, I say to myself, hey, that nigga, somebody had to think of that joke to make that joke, right? If you make a sick joke, you have to think of that joke to make that joke. If you watch a sick episode of SVU with like a pedophile shit, I always say to myself, they always get on comedians writing sick jokes, but niggas write sick episodes on TV every day, and we just let that shit happen. Like Law and Order, SVU, all that shit is creepy shit to be writing up.
But I think it's shit that really be happening though.
That's the thing though. To me though, who wrote it? That's all I'm saying. Like whoever wrote it had to think the script through. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So to me, I always think to myself like, you're a little sick to be creating shit like that. But then when I watch movies like the military movies, I be thinking like, yo, who knows that this shit is accurate? Because I never seen a military dude go, hey man, why would they make up some bullshit like that? I never seen nobody dispute it enough to make it go like even jail jokes or jail scenes. They be like, yo, nigga, I'm in jail. That shit, that ain't real. Nobody ever disputes certain things. I'm just like, damn, must be some truth to this. And so when I watched that movie, it made me think like, damn, going to the military really it gotta break you to build you type shit.
Yeah, so I couldn't really speak on like the accuracy of that movie because that's based in Vietnam.
Right.
That's before my time.
Even crazier, yeah.
But when I see movies that are based on like Afghanistan and Iraq, I'm like, that's factual. Like most of those aren't really embellished at all. Like, and that's kind of the thing is like, that's what makes it worse. Cause when you see it and you're like you don't know, right? So you watch it. Let's say we watched that movie together, Full Metal Jacket, right? Yeah. And let's say I understood Vietnam. And you're like, all right, out of a scale 100%, how much of that is true? And I'm like, 96.
I'd be like, get the fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So
All right, what's the movie then? Like American Sniper or Lone Survivor or like Black Hawk Down? Like what's something that make you go, oh shit, nigga,
all of
that
those
shit?
To a T.
Which one? The Mark Wahlberg one?
Lone Survivor? Now, see, that is a specific story, so you would have to know the details. But the only thing in it that at first I didn't believe, but it had to be true because he got saved, was when they was fighting, they were protecting him.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess it's the religion, like when you find someone that's like that needs treated, you got to protect them no matter who they are. And so that was kind of like, okay, like, he would be dead, but he's still alive. He is the only one to survive. So I don't know if that's how it actually happened. If that, you know what I mean? But going through some of that stuff where they were like, we could just kill this dude with this goat and be safe.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, nah, that's the rules of engagement. Like, let him go. What? I'm telling you right now, I don't think that part would have, like, in real life, they would have just smoked cars.
I watched that in real time and thought to myself, given that I'm watching this movie and means something shittier happens later, just from Hollywood standpoint of like script writing, I'm like, kill this fucking kid and the goat right there.
Yeah, and they don't.
Thinking. I was like, this is a bad idea. I'm here to tell you.
So I'll tell you the movie that for me was, I would say 100% accurate. And it's called The Outpost. The star is Clint Eastwood's son. I forget his name, his real name.
Shit.
And I know it's messed up to be like referencing him as like Clint Eastwood's son.
No, that's fine.
But it's his son. He plays in it. And there's a scene that they keep getting new captains because this is like the most dangerous outpost.
Oh shit. And, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're getting like attacked from up top, right?
Right.
So when they get the black dude, matter of fact, I didn't notice, and I was watching, I was like, where I know him from? He played a drug dealer in A Wire, but he's so much like more like big now, pause, that he was scrawny in The Wire, so I don't recognize him. But he plays a captain, a black dude, and he won't even go outside of his thing. He's pissing in all the bottles, and they're making the privates go empty the piss bottles out. And they're like, what the fuck, this dude don't know what he's talking about. He's giving shitty orders, and you're like, that shit be happening. They'll tell you, you're like, yo, we can't do this, it's dangerous. I'm like, we gotta do it. Then somebody dies, you're like, I fucking told you. That shit was getting me so mad. What the fuck is wrong with him, man? I was throwing shit. My girl was looking at me like, she don't watch, when we was together, and a movie like that come on, she'd be like, I'm going upstairs. She knows I can't, especially if it's the first time I ever seen it, she don't know what to expect because I don't know what to expect. I be in there. I got kicked out of the movies for that Lone Survivor shit. Remember when them niggas fell down and they was smacking their head and shit off the rocks when they fell down?
Yeah.
I was in the movies. I went to like some $2 matinee bullshit, low-key spot, some ran-down-ass raggedy theater just to watch it in peace. And it was like two dudes in there laughing at that scene. I said, what the fuck you think is funny, nigga? They was like, what, bro? I said, no, what the fuck you laughing at? Made it seem, bro, I got kicked out. I had to go back another day and watch it all over. Snap. Was about to fuck these niggas up in a movie theater because they was laughing at the nigga falling off the cliff. I was hurting, dog. Like, I felt so triggered. I was like, I can't watch these shits. So yeah, that's.
You have a favorite military movie then? Let's go. This my shit. Turn this on for a good movie.
I probably got a couple. I can't. Lone Survivor, American Sniper, Black Hawk Down.
Nigga, I don't like to finish Black Hawk Down. I'll be turning that shit off early.
When
it start getting too crazy, I go, I don't want to see it. Because that one scene, I was like, I can't watch that scene no more, dog. I turn that shit off early.
When we was in Iraq the first time, I swear to God, bro, we was doing missions and we didn't have like bulletproof vests. We just had our vest that you wear inside of the tank. It's like flame retardant. Yeah. So you don't catch on fire because sometimes it blows back flames in there. So that's the only vest we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have like we didn't have none of this shit. So we ran around this compound that we were living at. We're about to go do these raids. It was the first time there was any raids ever happening in Iraq. So imagine you just at home with your family chilling and niggas just kick your door in, screaming and shit. You like, oh, you allowed to have guns. You might shoot back thinking, I don't know what's going on. So we like, bro, somebody gonna get killed tonight. We about to raid these cribs, no warning. They never had this happen. And we was like, we gotta find some armor or something. We was walking around the compound. We just found like plates of metal that we was sliding in the vest just to help us, like, in case something happened, like this should help a little bit. And just putting this bullshit in there. We would watch Black Hawk Down every single day before we went out on well, not every day, but We had a mission and we thought was about to be some shit. We watched Black Hawk Down. We was going out there like I'm clapping some shit today, dog.
Really? Hostiles everywhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's one I like Act of Valor. I don't like how it ends.
Act of Valor. I think I seen that one.
Those
too.
are played by real, actual military members.
I remember that. I did watch that one there.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of military movies. But those ones
was it Zero Dark 30 or which one was it when they got Saddam?
When they got Saddam?
Or
and the chick was in charge.
Bin Laden.
Bin Laden.
Bin
Yeah.
Laden, yeah.
That I think that's one of the ones you think this is inaccurate.
Hollywood. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. So this actually brings up an interesting topic then to me. So a lot of niggas, right, don't want to be in the military, or black people. A lot of the sentiment is that fighting, like Muhammad Ali style type shit, where it's like, I'm gonna fight for a country, come back, get treated like an asshole, get treated like less than. But I have in the past, and obviously to not to the same extent, obviously, but I've likened growing up in the hood to a form of military like living, and not the U.S.'s military, like the other side military life, like where it's like you
poor.
can die any day here, my boy. Like you can die here any day. It don't make sense. Nobody's gonna really do much about it if you die.
Yeah.
Like growing up in the hood to me felt like that, because like from my age 12 to 18, I had like 10 dudes on my street died, and I was like, I get older, and I've shootouts, everything. I've ran, I've been shot at, I've had bullets fly past me and hit somebody else, and I think to myself, by the time I get as an adult, I was like. So even when my girl told me about when that Vegas thing happened, like she had friends, somebody in the Vegas country shooting thing, they were like traumatized. And when she came back and told me about all of that, I was like, yeah, that's crazy. And then she's like, you don't have a bigger reaction to this? People got shot that night. And I was like, Cameron, I was like, niggas get shot every day. Like, I didn't react, because I was like, I shot 20 years ago. I don't give a fuck about, like, my brain just, and I was like, damn.
You're desensitized.
Something wrong with me, even though I should be acting like, oh my God, these poor people, they couldn't imagine shit like that. But in my life, I was like, nigga, I remember being 14 years old, freshman year in high school, feeling. I never thought I would feel and I was like, nigga, that was a, and then the nigga next to me fall. I'm like, oh my God, nigga, we were being shot at. And in the moment, it's adrenaline. You just running for your life. You don't think anything of it. And then you get older and older, you look back on them days and go, nigga, I could have got hit that day. Bro. So that could have been a goner. And so, in my head, I'm like, I don't liken it to being on the U.S. military side. To me, that's a completely sophisticated lifestyle. But you could be a nigga in Yemen or something like you could live a lifestyle, or nigga, not Nigeria, but like Congo or some shit.
Yeah.
Where niggas be like, hey, niggas get shot here, bro. Just watch out. And it's like, that's what the hood feel like some days. Where it's like, when you survive that, you like, I mean, it's not the military, but I've had my fair share of, hey, nigga, you could die today, just so letting you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you on the opposite side of the U.S., you fuck around could die today. They see like something go wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I wouldn't say it was more of a U.S. military, but it definitely felt like if you was on the other side of the U.S. military, like, hey, them niggas take you out. They might take you out, bro. They better than us at this. So it felt like that sometimes growing up in the hood, like, hey man, you can get taken out by niggas that's in the hood. You can take out by a cop. Like, it don't matter. You could any day could be your day.
So you're saying like when people was like so like anti-military, like black people was like.
Their sentiment, I thought, was more like, yo, we can go fight for somebody, but we still come back and we're not treated like shit. But in my mind, growing up, I was like, I don't think I can join the military because this feels like a war zone where I'm growing up at. And to me, that's traumatic enough that I don't think I could focus going into a new territory. And now I got a different threat in my mind.
So I thought about it, like, because even though I was signing up like to fake do it to get out of the case, I did like think, there were days where I'm like, well, maybe I really should do this because it's like, I don't really know what I'm going to do next. And my sister's, my nephew's oldest dad, my oldest sister's first kid, my nephew's dad, he was in the military. I think he had like 12 years in at the time when I was signing up, like thinking about signing up. And I remember asking like, yo, what's it like? He was like, I could tell you 1,000 stories, this, that, and 30. He was like, basically the military is what you make it. He's like, that's the only thing I could tell you. I'm like, nigga, that don't help. He was like, it does. If you actually join, you'll realize. He was like, I was like, what you mean it's what I make it? Nah, how is it? He was like, it's what you make it. He was like, there's people that love the military, have great stories, great careers. And there's people who get kicked out. They're always in trouble. He was like, it's because of the choices you make. He was like, so you gotta, if you want to do it, you'll do well. If you don't, it's not gonna be for you. He's like, it's what you make it. And I was like, okay. I kind of was like, that don't help me. You know what I'm saying?
He saw some shit though. He was like, oh.
And he's infantry.
Yeah.
So he was like, but he didn't really do no combat at that time because when he joined, Desert Storm was already over, and that wasn't really combat. And Iraq didn't happen yet. Like 9/11 didn't even happen yet, or it might have just been happening, but he didn't go. He was a recruiter or some shit. So he didn't really see no action, but he knew like the military lifestyle. So I was like, I don't do this shit. You know what I mean? And then I just remember feeling like I don't have no way out. And then that happened and the dude saw me and I'm like, well, let's go. And then once I got there, I remember in basic training, I was still like a nigga from the hood. But I kept remembering him say like, yo, like the military is what you make it. So when I was acting up and you used to get like the first maybe 3 weeks, you don't get phone calls or nothing, you can't call home. They take your phones, so you got to rely on like a pay phone, which people don't even know what a pay phone is no more. But you couldn't call home for like the first 3 weeks or something, maybe the first month. And then you had to earn that privilege throughout the week. Like if
communication, you have to earn communication?
Yeah, so we got these things, it's called 550 cord, and it's like nylon rope, and you tie it to like the hole in where your button would go on your collar, and it drapes down. It's like however, maybe like 12 inches or whatever. And every canteen of water you drink, you tie off a knot. That's how you keep track of how much hydration you got. So if I drink a canteen and I finish it, I tie a knot, I fill the canteen back up. So anybody walking past me be like, oh, he drunk 4 canteens of water. But I'm a nigga. I just tie knots in it, didn't drink no canteen. You know what I mean? I got 6 knots in the bitch. I ain't even finished one yet. So you would have to come to formation with your dog tags. Your book that you keep in your cargoes, like it was what you needed every day. I will leave that in the locker because I ain't like it being in my. Where's your book at?
He's acting up.
Oh man, no phone call this weekend. I don't give a fuck. Nigga, you think I care about calling home? Like that's how it was, and it really wasn't bothering me. Like I was like, oh, I'm definitely not about to make it because I don't give a shit about nothing. It took me. Niggas had to write me letters to get in touch with me because I couldn't call home. I joined August 12th was my first day. Oh, no, sorry, August 13th, 2002. I don't even think I called home. When you first get to use the phone, you're like an in processing. But when you get to the real, like across the tracks where the training, nah, it's like a month. I don't think after that first like week of improv, and I don't think I called home until like October, like the end of October. Because I was losing my privileges every week, every single week. I didn't give a fuck. And one day the drill sergeant pulled me to the side. He was like, yo, are you street smart? You book smart? You know all this shit. You just a knucklehead. Once you figure this shit out, you won't nobody be able to stop you. I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, dog. Like, I don't even want to do this no more. And I stuck with it. I ended up becoming like NCO of the year for the whole, like, I was one step away from competing for the whole Army. That shit is like no joke.
Competing for who?
For the Army, like, so it's like they call it a board. Like basically you sit in front of like high ranking NCOs, sergeant majors and stuff like leaders. And they ask you general military knowledge. And then they go to, when you can do soldier of the year or NCO. NCO is like a sergeant, non-commissioned officer. So I started off as doing soldier of the year and was winning all the rounds. But then I got promoted to corporal. So now I'm not a soldier no more, so I can't technically compete. And the sergeant that was in my unit that was winning, he wasn't really that good. So they just replaced me with him, pulled him and put me in. You know, I won anyway, so I was supposed to be there, but I'm just representing NCOs now instead of soldiers. And I went all the way up to where if I won the last one the competition I was in, the next phase is NCO of the whole Army of the year. Basically, like you're like the best soldier, you know what I mean? Like a trivia, like fucking Jeopardy, but for Army shit.
Really?
And so, and technically I did win because the girl that beat me, she wasn't even eligible to be, she didn't have enough time left in service. You had to have a year left, and she only had like 4 months. If I was like a snitch, I'd have been like, yo, fam, she not even supposed to be here. And I would have won. You know, I would have went to compete against the Army. But I just took the L and was like, all right.
Wait, so I'll rewind too. Maybe not rewind, or fast forward. Depending on what the part of that your service was. But take me back to the Iraq. You are in a tank, correct?
Technically, it's called a howitzer, but for a layman's term, it is like a tank, but it's not an Abram.
It got the belts with the wheels?
Yeah.
And you inside of it.
Yeah.
You got a bazooka up top? What the fuck's that called?
50 cal.
50 cal.
And then it got the
big ass dumb bullets.
Yeah.
You shooting that?
Yeah, so the howitzer, there's different ones. You got heavy and light. Heavy is self-propelled, meaning you in the actual tank driving with the tracks.
Right.
Light howitzer, they hook it up to a Humvee or a 5-ton truck, like a big, and they tow it to the spot, and it's like you do way more work with the light. Like you're manually setting that shit up like it's hard work. Inside the tank, you just jump in that joint, pull up to the spot, get out, set everything up, and you shoot it. You know what I mean? Then you pick up and leave. The light shit, you got to hook it back up to the tow hitch. You got to do a lot more. So if you go to somewhere cold like New York where they're light artillery, you out there freezing, trying to, you know what I mean? This ain't the city of New York. This is upstate New York. So you close to Canada, you freezing, trying to set this shit up. You like, nah, I don't want to do that, bro. So I was in their tank. And then you got the section chief on one side. He's on the 50 cal. And then on the other side, you got like the, usually the gunner. And he's in the other hatch with like his regular weapon, M16 or whatever. And then you got a driver down there and then inside the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got another soldier just sitting in the tank, just sleep or doing whatever.
In case anybody got to get replaced.
Yeah, in case. Because you need 4 people to shoot it. So those 4 stay in there. Then the other 4 are in the ammo carrier, which carries like all the surplus of tank rounds.
And you are which person in the 4-person group? Initially,
I was in the ammo carrier, just a soldier. I was a private, bottom of the barrel. Then once I became an NC, I did gunner for a little bit, where you're actually the one pulling the lanyard to shoot the tank. I did that for a little bit. Then I got promoted. Then when I became a sergeant, I went and ran the ammo carrier. I was the ammo carrier chief, like second in line.
So this tank, y'all went through the fucking cities with this tank.
Yeah. So when we got there, we reached an agreement with them saying like we would go, there's a road that goes around the city instead of going like through town because the damages them Jav-ass roads they got. So we would drive around the city to get back on what they would consider a highway. So we wouldn't damage the roads. But if they start fucking up and attacking us, then we would drive through the city and just start shooting shit. Like a show of force. Go in it, boom, just blow a building up. And just pivot all on the tank, the tracks will pivot on their curbs and break their curbs and shit. And their roads and fuck up their sidewalks and drive off. And we would just fuck up the city a little bit. And be like, yo, chill the fuck out or we're coming back. You know, it's funny though, but I wanted to say this before. I almost forgot. When you said your girl was telling you about like the shit in Vegas and you were like, oh, whatever. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, when I came back from Iraq, when I would be telling certain stories to my friends, I'm like, yo, no, we did this, whatever. And they'd be like, think that's cool? Like, what are you talking about? To me, it was normal. But I never realized that I'm talking to them. And they're like, bro, that's not normal. Like, and like you said, you was in the hood, you seen somebody get shot. You grew up in a similar environment to a war, right? Mm-hmm. But on the opposite end of, you know, like the bad part of the war, like where niggas are getting smoked. Yeah. Americans do get smoked, but I get what you're saying because I grew up in the same thing. So imagine people who grew up like that, hearing me tell stories and them people being like, too much, bro. Jeez. So, and you know, you can relate because you're telling me, right, this is how you grew up. So if I'm telling you that I would tell you a story and someone like you with your experience will be like, nah, that's too much. Yeah. And I used to be like, that's what causes like a depression for a lot of soldiers coming back. I can
imagine because now you got to bottle it.
So you're telling people to thinking it's normal, and then they're making you like you're an animal. Yeah. And now you feel like shit. And you're like, damn, the only place I feel good or even feel like normal is in combat. So the thing that I ran away from, like I ain't trying to get deployed a third time, I'm just getting out. I found myself wanting to go back. I even signed back up to the reserves to just try to go back to war. Damn. Because I was like, nah, I got to get out of here, bro. I can't do this shit. Like, I'm going to kill someone in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go where it could have a point to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what it was.
Whew. Interesting. I didn't know that much about you about that part. So I was like, man, I might as well ask. Which leads me to my next topic. By the time this airs, 2 weeks ago, and we were in Ontario, California, on the Tony Rock's Rock the Mic tour. I was performing. This young man right here pulled up on a Saturday night, 2 sold-out shows, rocking fucking shows. And he was just pulling up to support, because LA, Ontario ain't that far away. LA comics can pull up out that way. And I'm doing my thing. Second show, right before the show starts, Tom was like, and we just had him as a guest. Check that episode out. Tony Rock, he's the headliner.
Yeah.
And the sound guy comes in like, yo, what's the lineup? They come in every show, ask the lineup. And this is very Tony Rockish, right? Like, he don't tell you shit until he tell you shit. So
the dude asked me for the song.
Yeah. But that's because I had already told him, but Mike didn't know yet. So Mike's sitting in the green room. Me, Joe, and Tony is sitting in the green room too. Sound guy comes in and he has to line up with order. Tony goes, John, Grimy, then Mike, then Joe, then me.
I didn't even hear him say that.
And then so that sound guy's like, yo, you want a song? And Mike Murphy's like, did you even pick a song?
No, I said when he. So when he asked the lineup, I was talking to I think you or Joe about something. So I didn't even hear Tone say that. And then dude said, what song do you want? I was like, oh no, I'm not even on the show. It's just them. And he was like, Tone was like, nah, you going up. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even have a song ready. I was like, fuck it. I don't even care. Just play whatever.
Exactly. Whatever you want to bring me out to, brother. I'm all good. But anyway, so I think I kicked off that show. So I kick off the show, I bring Mike up. And I obviously we good, right? We homies. I ain't seen Mike on stage. I used to have an open mic, by the way, and we would go on stage every week and then do feedback and shit like that. So I ain't seen Mike for a little, maybe in there a year, probably, or maybe more than 9 months for sure. Because my mic stopped like in there a year ago. So
it was definitely longer than a year.
Okay, so less than a year, over a year, but like he had bits he was working on. Like, I'm figuring these out. I'm trying to get the timing down, cutting shit, trimming fat type of shit, right? And we all workshopping all our jokes. And long story short, I do great. I love doing great. And I'm always like, all right, I always have to watch comics. A lot of comedians don't like to watch the whole show. I watch the whole fucking show. So Mike comes out next, hit him with the bing bop, bing, bing bop, pop, uppercut. And I was like, wow, big damn, look at that shit. And the reaction is two-part, right? One is, hey, this nigga doing work. But the other part is, as a comic and a workshopper, and we work on jokes and shit like that, and we always trying to improve, I remember some of those jokes he was starting out with concepts of, and to watch him have finished them off like that and make them a complete bit with the tags and the side humor and stuff like that, I was like, oh shit, nigga cooking, right? So that was really dope to see. Sidebar to that, even, when I brought him out, I saw the claps, but then I heard like a little second sputtering of claps, like people recognized you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, they got a second applause for people realizing who Mike Murphy was after I had already said it. And I was like, oh damn, that's what's up.
You heard a girl say my name?
I heard some shit. I heard all kinds of shit. I was like, oh shit. And so that was interesting to see. Mid-set, Tone pops out his head out like, how's it going? I was like, he cooking. Tone nodded his head, went back in the green room. But I was just like, yo, man did his time, did his thing. And, I always said I was going to tell you about it, but might as well tell you right now, like, the set was solid as shit, dog. Like, so, I mean, y'all watching the podcast, but I was here stand-up comics. And so the rock a sold-out room and, like, get some laughs and get big laughs and, like, have them clapping for you when you get off, that's better than sex and drugs to me. So
facts.
And when I see it happen for somebody else, it's also exciting. So I'm like, yo, nigga, this shit ain't easy. I assure you, this shit is not easy. So when you see somebody kill it, you're like, yo, good fucking shit, because it's very, like comedy, like a lot of other things is shit can go well, shit can go okay, shit can go trash. And you gotta sit with that the rest of the night. No matter how whichever one you do that day, that's when you're gonna sit with the rest of the night. But to do it and perform well amongst your peers and friends and comics you look up to, like obviously Tone is a comic that we all want to make sure knows is we funny, right? So when you do well in front of comics like that, it's like, shit, I'm good money now. He gonna throw me up somewhere else for sure now because I did work last time he saw me. That's the kind of shit you want. You want people to walk away going, it's like basketball. A nigga see you hoop, they gonna be like, hey nigga, you wanna come to the next run? You wanna come to the league? Like everything happens because you doing well. So yeah, shout out Mike Murphy for killing
I appreciate that, bro.
Ontario.
Cause you text me after that, like, yo, I meant to talk to you. I didn't get a minute, and then you said that, and I was like, damn. And I said this before, is like getting praise from someone you look up to always feels good. But when it comes from somebody who saw like the start of it, or be like, yeah, it's different because you know they're like, oh, I've seen this whole process. And the crazy thing is about one of the jokes I did there was that wasn't even a joke I worked on at your open mic. Remember, I was working on something, and then after the mic, we was talking to Ron G because his wife had the baby, and she said she had a C-section. And I was like, oh, I know what that's about. And I started telling y'all the story about that girl.
Oh my God.
And Ron said, nah, bro, no disrespect. Like the jokes you was working on stage, it was cool, working on them. Why aren't you telling that as a joke? That was funnier than the shit you said at the mic. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just.
Shout out Ron G. But yeah.
Shout out Ron G. He was like.
Got a good eye for humor. But
he was like, that's what you needed. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And I started. And you told me something. So I'll give you your credit for this. That joke, most of my jokes, but that joke in particular, well, what I was doing was most of my jokes are storytelling. Mm-hmm. So they're real stuff. Me being a person that likes to stay authentic, I was forgetting that comedy doesn't have to be, you need to make it funny. Like
the
it needs
humor
to be,
is the exaggeration.
So me telling the whole story, it's funny, but that's more of a like, we just sitting around on stage. It needs to be punched. You need to add shit, embellish a little bit, make a face, do something. It can't just be like, here's the story, how I started.
Absolutely.
And that's how I kind of started it.
Yeah.
And I would get laughs. I like, if I got like a bigger room or a good crowd, I would get laughs. I'm like, okay, the joke's working. But then I would do it somewhere else and wouldn't get any. And I'd be like, why is that falling flat? And I'm like, there's too much of a gap where there's no laughter.
A lot of laws, no tags.
And if you, and I remember Tone said, he said, the longer you make them wait, the bigger the laugh gotta be.
Yeah.
So if you make them wait a minute and a half, that punchline better be like, the build up better be worth it, right? So I'm like, cool. So when I started reworking that joke, I'm like, this don't have to be in there. It's the truth, but so what? Let me do this. Let me add this. And the little stuff I start adding, the things that I put in the story that didn't actually happen were the things that I would have to stop or I was going to step on the laughs because they were laughing so hard. I'm like,
facts.
Figured it out. But that was something you say. You was like, yo, you got to cut the fat off this. This isn't necessary. You need to not tell it like a story. It needs to be a joke. That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It don't need to be a story. It needs to be a joke from a story. And I was like, okay. And I took that and I was like, let me, you know what I mean? And that made me go back and shout out Lonnie, the Booker for Chocolate Sundays.
Lonnie.
She seen my one set and was like, I like it, but I'm going to give you honest feedback as a friend, not as just somebody who books the comedians. I think you're better than that. These kind of jokes. I want to see different material. I'm like, bet. And I came back and did it. And I was like, I'm so glad. At first, I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know why we're going away from this, but as comics, peers, friends, everything, let's start telling people we know the truth so that everybody benefits.
Facts.
It don't matter if you like a person. They should not be offended if the truth you're telling them is, I think you're better than this.
Yeah,
that should be something that somebody go, damn, I am better than that. You're right. Let me cook this shit some more. That's great. I'm glad Lonnie said that.
That made me rework. So the hour I thought I had, I'm like, scrap it. Like the premise, the bit, all that is still there. But it made me go back and say, let me make this funny. Let me make this good. Let me make, when someone leaves, they be like, yo, that joke. When I tell that joke about the baby, people come up to me like, yo, is that a true story? And I'm like, yes.
Any joke that get people to follow up with you is a great joke.
Yes.
If you get them to repeat a tag, they come talk to you directly after the show because you impacted them that much, or if they in disbelief after you get done with the joke, nigga, that is a great joke because you did all the three things. You surprised them, you shocked them, you made them remember something. Because they watch an hour and a half of comedy, 90 minutes of comedy. If they remember something you did in the 90-minute window, after the 90 minutes is over, you did your job and you made them laugh. So that is dope. I was going to say, I remember a particular line, and I'm not even sure what part it was, but I guess the guy was involved, and you were trying to, I don't want to get a joke away, but it was a tag I had never heard before. Something about the guy either being threatening or something like that, and you just said something very quick, and when I was like,
he said,
good.
I should knock you out, bitch. And
I was like, that's good. That's good right there. Like, it was so simple and so quick, but that is what the crowd needs. The crowd. I'll give Steve Harvey credit for this. I don't know if it was Steve Harvey, but I'm pretty sure I heard it from him. But he said the crowds be laughing every 8 seconds. And I remember hearing that earlier in my comedy career again, saying, get the fuck out. Ain't nobody got to laugh every 8 seconds.
Dan Cook told me that too.
Bro, I thought that shit was bullshit. I'm sure you probably got it from another OG. Like, even Steve probably got it from OG. But I said to myself, nigga, every 8 seconds means you got 12 jokes. I'm sorry, six times 8 is 48. 7 times 8 is 56. So you got 7 jokes in a minute. 7 laughs in a minute, basically. That's crazy out loud, right? Makes my laugh.
Yeah, that do sound.
Like, that means every 7 seconds you making another joke.
Or even if it's not a joke, it might be a gesture. It might be
something humorous.
The way you look.
So, like, to me, I'm like, yo, that's wild. But the idea behind it was that I realized too, even though I'm a long form joker sometimes. Like, I got like longer bits, and I also got quicker bits. But I noticed, and since I've been on the tour and road, that when I do my jokes that get laughs every 8 to 10 seconds, like there's a laugh everywhere, they be rocking. By the time they get to the minute 6, 7, 8, 9, now they trust me. Yeah, they maybe laugh 3 or 4 times in the last minute. The guy he's getting laughs out of me. I gotta keep laughing. So it's a science to it that if they trust you early, you got them the rest of the set.
I'm gonna say this, and this is not even really like me being like cocky or arrogant or anything like that. It's like when I see how much I'm growing with the lapse in shows, like where I'm not even going up as much as I want, and I'm still improving that much. I'll be thinking to myself, like, if a comedian reaches out like, yo, man, I think you funny, I want to take you on the road with me. And I start getting like the opportunities are getting that many reps, oh, it's about to be over. I'm going to be fucking cooking because it's like, yo, this is...
I don't know if I've acknowledged this out loud, but I probably said it to myself. This year, and I just did the math on this, bro. I'm about to post to somebody this later on this week, but like I just found out I did the 32 cities this year, right? I was in the airport Sunday, and I said to myself, where have I been this year? Opened up my calendar, so write down the cities name by name, and I was like, God damn, by the time I got done, 32 cities, 5 shows a piece at least, 32 times 5, shit, what's that, 150? I did 160 plus shows, right? Wherever I was in 2022, 2023, comedy-wise, I apologize to anybody that saw me before that. Like, that nigga will get his ass dragged by the nigga now. I am. I am a different version. It's like Pokemon. I went from Charmander to Charmeleon. And like, I'm afraid of what Charizard gonna do whenever I get to that level. I don't know what the fuck
none of that means.
But like, when Pokemon evolve after like a certain power up, like, so it's just to me like, I'm still the same guy, but I've elevated, and the road has allowed me to do that. So these reps, talking to different cities, learning how people talk in the South, learning how people talk in the East, how jokes work and land differently, and how in the South you got to be way more unnerving and disarming up top. Like, you got to make sure you acknowledge the room, the people. Southern people don't play that. You can't just get right into jokes. They be like, whoa, nigga, fuck you. Like, they slow, everything's slower, the cadence. Like, it's so much stuff you got to be aware of and how to relate to them. Like, some people just come to a city, some cities you go to, they go, all right, let's hear the jokes, we're ready. Quick, sharp, Philly, DC, Boston. Quick, they love it. South, you ain't about to come out there with a set up puss. I'm like, nah, brother, you better come out there with some salutations like you at church. I give honor to God who's the head of my life, bishop, pastor's wife. Like, everything is different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so learning that shit made me go like, man, whoo, it's so little intricacies. And then you see a guy like Tone who's done all these rooms, and he come back to, no offense to LA, but he come into a room in LA and be like me coming back to LA, I'm like, oh man, it's we can cook here. And like, but obviously Tone's still ridiculous at the crowd work part. I don't think there's anybody better, honestly. But just being able to things slow down. It's like a sports reference. I heard a lot of veteran players say this, that walk us through the last 5 seconds of that game. And like Kobe, people be like, the game kind of just slows down. I know it's 5 seconds, but it slows down and be like, I can see more. Everything, my senses are more alert. Even though it's only 5 seconds, it don't feel like it. Yeah. So I made the play I made. And now, no matter what time you get me on stage, I'm slowing down. And I'm going, I could get to that joke, but I can get to that joke in a minute too. I got something funny to say right now. I'm going to do that first. Like, things I would not have done 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would not have took that risk and say, I'm going to make this quick joke because it's just bothering me. I got to get it out of my mouth.
Just being present.
And that shit would hit so fucking hard that I'm like, oh shit, that worked? Start the set. And like, little things like that I would not have taken risk on, but I've done so many at-bats that I'm like, I know it's going to work.
Well, you know why? It's because when you don't get that many at-bats, you don't want to waste an at-bat on trying some shit.
Everything, bro.
You like, nah, bro, I got to do, this got to be the best because I don't get these opportunities. If you go on 5-6 shows a weekend for 32 weekends. Well, you're like, okay, I'm trying some shit this week.
But you have it in you the entire time.
Yeah, but you're just afraid to.
Exactly. You didn't want to take that risk. Because I've thought of funny jokes when a 1 minute audition and said to myself, I could do this joke right now. I think it'd probably kill. Or should I just do the joke I said I was going to do 5 hours ago? And I went with the joke from 5 hours ago, falls flat. Because my honest, your real you was like, nigga, the joke is right here in the room. These niggas bombing. 20 straight comics just bombing. Now it's your audition. You going to just walk over and do another bit like them? Nigga, address the bomb. And I was like, nah, I want to do that. I'm going to do my bit. Crickets. Nobody get called back. And I was like, I should just address the bomb in the room. That showed them I was present too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something about breaking that wall and showing the audience that, oh, he's more real than we thought he was. Like,
so, like, speaking of, like, you brought up Steve Harvey earlier, he has the infamous story of, like, when he really kind of caught his break or whatever. Said he was, you know, he called it his turn back moment. He's telling a story or whatever.
oh, yeah.
And so the story is amazing. I have the video saved on my phone. I watch it every once in a while. But one of the things that I remember was him, he did that show talking about the Apollo. He said that was the day Jamie Foxx got booed. D.L. Hughley. He named all these people. He said they all got booed. He was going out there. And the joke he did was a joke he wrote on the plane to New York. It was about the Mike Tyson punching Mitch Green. And he's like, he never practiced that nowhere. Like, he wrote that on the plane and he did that bit, and he was the only one that killed and it was like, yo, they brought him back, and then he ended up becoming a host because Sinbad got something, whatever. But he never had a chance to work that bit. He doesn't say that but if you're a comedian, you know, you're like, I wrote this on a plane. Well, you know he didn't go to a mic. He tells the timeline. And you're like, there's no, when could you have worked on this? Now, unless that's not what actually happened and he was working on it elsewhere and it really just caught there, cool. But maybe just.
No, bro.
But if he wrote that on a plane, like he said, that means he never had a chance to work it. He just memorized it, and that was what he was feeling at the moment, and he did it and killed.
I believe that because the bit I did when I first landed in Atlanta about the spirit joke, that started from me flying to Atlanta by myself and none of the other comics making it. And I was like, I gotta explain why I'm the only comic here with Tone. And so I just worked it. I did it that night. Everybody laughed, and I was like, huh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. And I told you that when you did it.
From August on to now, I've been working that joke. And I kind of had slowed down. And Tone one day was like, why you didn't do that one joke? And I was like, what? Like, airplane joke. And I was like, when he asked that, I was like, oh shit, he must think it's funny too then. Because he had why I didn't do it one night. I was like,
I got a spirit joke that could be, it has so much potential, and I just never fucking finished working on it.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I connected to your Steve Harvey statement. That Steve Harvey video is about 4.5 minutes long. 4 minutes, 52 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Something crazy.
The long version is like 10 minutes.
Exactly. But there's a clip about 5 minutes long. I think it was on Instagram. Can I tell you, bro? Okay, I was applying for a job at Chase Bank. I was working at Chase applying for a promotion, right? Because I got kids, I got a family, got a house. I was trying to get promoted. Still doing comedy, but I wanted to get a better day job. I applied to this job. I got an interview scheduled for this Wednesday or something like that. I text this girl who I used to work with at a different company. Said, yo, I'm applying. I think you got the same manager as me. But I got an interview with him tomorrow, something like that. She said, oh my God, good luck. Now, I don't know what she said. I'm not accusing her of saying anything, but I thought it was very odd. The interview starts. We're talking for like 3 minutes. And the guy goes, hey, John, I just sent you a text message. Check that out and then call me back. And I was like,
this is like a Zoom interview?
Phone interview, bro. Phone interview. So I was like, you said what? I sent you a text message. Check your text messages and then call me back when you get done. So I'm like, okay. I go to my text messages, bro. I click on the link. It's the Steve Harvey video telling the story about the Apollo.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this. It's like 5 minutes long. I'm like, does this motherfucker want to do comedy? Anyway, I watched the video, finish it all, hang up, call him back. He's like, yeah, bro. I saw your page. I saw your comedy. I looked you up. You're actually really funny, man. I don't want to hire you. I don't want to put you into my company and have you working for me and doing all that. I think
he felt like he would be doing you an injustice.
That's what his message was to me today. He's like, hey, man, I don't want you to go any higher in this company. I think you should look at what that video did for him and use that for your own beliefs and then take off. And I was like, it was very motivational at the time. At the reality, I was like, nigga, but I need more money for this job, dog.
Like,
I'm broke, nigga.
That's cool and all.
But he was like, yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, man. But just hope, good luck. And I was like, what? I hung up. I called my girl, like, yo, this nigga just sent me a video of fucking Steve Harvey. Now, what's ironic about that is that I did end up quitting a few months later, and I ain't worked at the bank in 3 months now to be 3 years. So I don't want to say that like that video like was the last straw, but it was the beginning of the last straw before me going full time into comedy. And like, yeah, you do gotta jump out there sometimes. And so, but that was very crazy that a nigga trying to hire me sent me a video about comedy and said, "Get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "That's crazy."
So
that video though that you're talking about, that exact video.
So I want to say this before we wrap, but so I told a story and I won't tell the whole story because it's out there. But basically, I end up opening for DC Young Fly and Ryan Davis in June of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2019, and I hadn't done comedy in like almost 6 years prior to that, and I had only done it for like a year and a half maybe when I did do it. I told myself I was going to give myself till June of next year of 2020, which is my birthday, to move to LA because I wanted to take it seriously. Because I coached Little League football, right? I worked in group homes and I worked in juvenile probation with kids that were messing up. And my message to the football players I coached, to the kids in the group home, and to the kids on probation was always, yo, you have a talent. It might not be the same talent, but each kid had some type of talent. And I don't even say every kid, but if I seen a kid that was good at something, like, yo, you have this talent. You trying to be in the streets or you trying to do this or be a rapper. That's not what you're good at. This is what you're good at. You need to, God gave you a talent. You need to follow that. Like, this is what you're blessed with. Anything else, I feel like is disrespectful to what you've been given. And I would always say that. And then I wasn't taking my own advice because I know it was funny and I know it was good at it. You know what I mean? Like naturally good at it, but wasn't doing it. Was just like, whatever. So I said, I'm gonna give myself a year. That was in July. It was basically not even a year, like 11 months. I started watching all those Steve Harvey clips and all these clips from, matter of fact, even Tone, that's how me and him even started even talking and becoming friends because I brought up a podcast he did with Finesse. I couldn't remember what it was on, but I asked him like, yo, what was this story? It was about him quitting his job, working at AIG, selling insurance. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got that. Like, I remember seeing it, but I didn't save the video. And I saved all those kind of motivational videos. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he told me the story. And I was like, nah, I know the story, nigga. Like, I'm telling you, like, tell me what podcast it was on so I can go save the actual video. That's how we got cool. So anyways, the Steve Harvey thing, he was dropping a couple of those. At the end, at the end of his show, he would just be talking to the audience and they would be saving that. And he told the story, he said, I don't care if you good at frying chicken or doing hair or whatever, you be the best person at fried chicken. You could become a millionaire like that. He's like, I got a boy cuts grass. Every year when we be going to do stuff, he would be like, nah, I got to cut these yards. We'd be like, come on, man. He'd be like, nah, I got to do. He's like, now he owns one of the biggest landscaping companies in Cleveland. He was like, I got a friend, his barber, they used to cut his hair. He's like, that dude just cuts hair. He owns 2 barber school now. All this shit. He's like, basically, do what your calling is. He was like, and if you wake up every day and that alarm go off and you like irritated, you're not living in your purpose.
Right. And
I kept hearing that, bro. Like every day I'd be in my truck. I owned a trucking company. I'd be in my truck driving and I would be hearing this message and I wanted to kill everybody at the steel mill that I was hauling from. Everything irritated me because I didn't want to be doing that. I wanted to be doing comedy. And I remember I kept thinking like, I'm not going to make it a year. Like I got to leave sooner. And then I came to LA for a wedding. Went to the Laugh Factory, met Ron G, was like, nah, bro. When I came back, my homegirl, we're not really friends no more, but we were super close then. She was like, stop playing, put the money into the house so you can list it and sell it. You're bullshitting. And I was like afraid because I only had a little bit of money in my savings, like my personal money that wasn't like business related. And it was $8,000, like $600, something like that. I put into the house and I only had like $1,500 left out of my personal savings. I had business account money, but that's for the business. Listed the house, that shit sold in 3 days. Nigga. Sold my truck in 1 day.
And then you moved to LA?
I moved to LA in 5 months after I gave myself 11. Almost 12 months. I was out in 5.
Nigga, that's fully loaded.
So December 30th, matter of fact, this will be airing the 29th, I think.
No, 30th, because
30th?
Wednesday is New Year's Day.
Okay, yeah, okay. So the day this airs will be my 5th year in LA. December 30th will be my 5 years in LA. And a lot of people
Five significant. Five is, a lot of niggas moved back before 5, dog.
Nigga, a lot of niggas moved back after 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing 5. So I'm proud of myself. But so we'll wrap on this, but it's like I had a bunch of funny shit planned for this episode and it just didn't go to that. But the episode ended up being like meaningful, so I ain't even regretting it. You know what I mean?
Bro, we gonna get to the funny.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it, but it was
Y'all
like
know
that.
We funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in the early episodes and the shows, we gotta get a better idea of who we talking to, and y'all learning more about us now. And when we like comedy, when we break down these walls, y'all gonna start warming up to us so much more and being like, I like these niggas.
Yeah. Once they be like, oh, I like John do this, Mike do whatever, it'll be good. We'll definitely get to the funny, but
y'all loving this.
The episode was good, and that shit, the tone did. I'm glad I'm always ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was like there was no warning, and like I respect it. When I came to the first show, I was like, I'm not even gonna sit in the green room because that green room was little as fuck. Never would have been a bigger one. I'd have probably sat there, but I was like, I'm gonna just sit out here. He was like, all right, bet, whatever. He's looking at me like, we all ain't in here at once, but I'm like, nah, but it's still tight, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I sat out.
That was a heads up play. Not even gonna lie. I thought to myself when you did that, I said, that's just smart to me.
Yeah, because I know that space is small like that. Yeah. And so I was talking to him about something else. So it started to carry where the show's about to start. And I was about to be like, all right, yo, kill this shit. I'm about to go back out there. And the dude's like, what song? I'm like, I'm not on the show. It's them. And he was like, nah, you going up. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit. Nigga. And I was just ready. I'm glad it went the way I thought it was going to go.
Shout out to being ready. Comics, if you watch this, stay the fuck ready. Stay ready with your 5 or 10, either or preferably. Stay ready with either one, because you never know when you're going up, especially if you come to a club. You should assume you're going up at every club you go to. Even if you don't, have that thing on you, as they say. Have that thing on you. Yeah. Mike had that thing on him at the Ontario.
So, did you post on your page that video about the first date price? The one I said was funny when you was talking to dude?
Damn, was that? I think so. I think it might have been the show you was at.
No, it was Sunday show.
No, if it was on Sunday, I didn't post it.
No, the one that I commented on, is that on your page? The one where you asked dude, he was like, this date don't cost that much.
Oh, yeah. I posted the reel from that one.
Yeah, so that's on your page, right? Yeah. So listen, when you see this, go to his Instagram and go to the Ontario set that he posted and just listen to this joke. It's part of a joke, but it ended up being crowd work. One of the funniest shit I've seen. I watched it 100 times.
Oh, $400.
Yeah. So go to that when you see it, and do it. So again, happy holidays. This will be coming out. New Year's will be in 2 days. It'll be my 5th year anniversary. You off for 2 weeks from the road.
2025. We up in here. Get ready.
I'm gonna say this before I go. Listen, you heard it here first. 2025 is gonna be the year that I can leave my job and just do this.
Let's go.
And comedy in some format where I don't have to depend on a job to pay my bills. I can feel it.
Let's make even more predictions. 2025, we're going to do a show. This podcast right here. We're going to do a live show.
Oh, yeah,
People going to pull up to and watch. Y'all going to see us do the interactions. Y'all going to see us do comedy. It's going to be an experience. 2025.
And by then, we'll have it. It'll be really polished, too.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be good. So just stay tuned for that.
Shenanigans.
Man, great episode again. Happy New Year's. Mike Murphy.
John Grimes.
Until next week, man. We'll see y'all. Love.